Hey everybody, sorry about the weird introduction with that. I am trying to get used to using some of this different technology here, so please bear with me. The first thing we are going to look at here is lesson 4, example 6. So we're still on chapter 7, lesson 4, example 6. So our new skill is adding and subtracting expressions with like radicands. This is on page 422. You can use the included packet from yesterday's Google Classroom to look at this. It says what a radicand is it's basically the stuff inside the radical symbol. They call it the value, but it's just anything that's under that radical sign. All right, so that's kind of where you're at with that. That's what a radicand is. So now, if we look at a problem like this is what we're talking about. Adding and subtracting things with like radicands. So the way this works is I want you guys to think about these square roots when they are all the same like that, when the radicands are the same. So in other words, this, and this are the same, right? What I want you to think about is treat that almost like a variable. So think of it almost like 5x plus 7x minus 6x. All right? And if you thought about it that way, you would just go 5 plus 7 minus 6, and that would give you 6, and then you would call it x. But in this case, we're using radicands, right? So instead of that, we're using this. So you're going to do the same thing, right? Where you're adding your 5, your 7, then subtracting 6, and that will give you 6. And then you're going to write 2 the square root of 2. So that's kind of how those work, is when you try to get them to be the same. And in this case, in these examples, they are going to all be the same. So you pretty much just add or subtract. Think of them as almost like the coefficients that are out front. Okay, so the numbers that are multiplying by the radical sign. Okay, so let's try another one. All right, take a look at this one. Now we have two different kinds of radicands on this one, right? We've got our 7s, right? And then we've got, let me see if I can, sorry, don't want to do that. And then you've got your 11s, right? So you've got your two different styles. So what you do with these is you just combine the ones that have the same radicand with each other. So in this case, I can combine these two and these two. All right, so if I combine my square roots of 7, 10 plus 4, so 10 plus 4 gives me 14 to the square root of 7. And then 5 minus 6 gives me minus 1 to the square root of 11. And notice I did not put the 1 down. You do not need to write the 1. It's the same thing as nobody writes 1x, right? Nobody does that. Everybody just writes x. So it's the same thing with square roots. Think of that number out in front as a coefficient. So let's try, I can't remember if I have 1 or 2 more on here, but we'll see. So I'm going to go back here. I want you to try this next one on your own. Okay, so pause the video and give it a shot. Okay, so this one, all the radicands are the same. So pretty much all you got to do is we're going to add up all of that stuff together, right? So we've got 6 plus 2, which is 8, and then 8 minus 9 is negative 1. So you could write it as negative 1 to the square root of 11, but like we said, we don't need that 1 out there, so just go negative square root of 11. Okay, think of these radicands, square root of 11. Think of it as 6 groups of square root of 11. Think of this as 2 groups of square root of 11. And if you think about it that way, it's pretty straightforward. All right, last example here. Okay, pause the video and come back to see what I did with it. All right, so this one here, we've got 3s, and then we've got 5s under our radicands. So we're going to combine our 3's together, and we're going to combine our 5's together. So with our 3's, you get 15 minus 11, which is 4, times the square root of 3. And then for our 5's, you get positive 14 and positive 6, which gives you plus 20 times the square root of 5. Hopefully this is making some sense to you. If it is not, I would encourage you to reach out to me. I'm actually recording this right now from what would now be yesterday's open Google Hangout, and that just goes to show that I'm not getting a lot of people coming in. So I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to work with you on this. If you're confused about anything, please come on. That is what my job is. So thanks for watching this, and we'll talk to you later.